Hi everyone, Lexi Stead here. I wanted to come on today and talk a little bit about support and how you can start feeling a little bit more supported on your life journey, no matter what you're going through. And I just noticed in the background, right here, this is perfect, this saguaro cactus that I have right here. Oh, it's a really tall one. It looks like he is reaching out to hug me, and this is perfect for this little video. Oh, how cool. So I was going to talk about what support means to most people and what it really actually is. So most of us were raised to believe to feel supported, you needed to have somebody that was always there and present so you weren't lonely, for one, and somebody who would hold you, maybe agree with you, maybe give you that feeling of love and support and nurturing no matter what you're going through. And that's supposed to feel really good, and that's supposed to be the ultimate support. And that is what you're supposed to have, someone who agrees with you. And I'm here to tell you that it's okay if you don't feel that and that you don't have that, because we are always supported everywhere we are. And I came out here to the desert. I'm on my break here at the Desert Museum from flying the birds of prey, and I came out here because this is a place that I always came to when I was going through a really hard time and I didn't feel very supported, or like I had somebody around, like a shoulder to cry on, somebody to hold me while I was going through the hardest part of my healing journey. And what I had to do, and what is something we all can do, is be willing to see how the universe is supporting us always in everything. It's being willing to see how every plant and rock and animal and just the beauty out here in the desert and the cactus is here to support us and to give us love. It's all our creation. And sometimes just shifting your perception to what support really is, because you're never alone. Never alone. I would come out here to the desert and I had to be willing to see how I was not alone. Even if there wasn't a person who was there to hold me and agree with me and stand behind me with whatever I was doing, I was still never alone. And it took me a while to realize that we're always supported. It just isn't always what we were taught it looks like. So I came out to nature a lot to feel supported and to feel the energy and the love around me. And that is one thing that I think more of us could do. We could go outside and just be willing to see how everything is there for us, how everything is there helping us, and that we're never alone. And then another thing I did, which was something that only occurred to me the other day to share, because I guess somebody said it helped them a lot when I told them this little story, and I never thought about it. But one of the other things I did is when I was going through one of my hardest times, and I was extremely ill, and I couldn't work, so I couldn't have my own money, and my relationship was falling apart, and I thought I was just pretty much going to be, left on my own to pretty much just, wither away and die. I felt completely unsupported. I felt completely just on the lowest of lows, like I couldn't take care of myself. There was just nothing left to do but to surrender. I was falling apart one day in the kids' parking lot at their school. And I remember just feeling, and I'm sure a lot of us have felt this way, like I just wish there was somebody to hold my hand. I just wish there was somebody to help me out. I wish there was somebody, and I was just asking, out to the universe, out to source. I was just like, please show me how I'm supported. Please show me how I'm going to be okay. And at that moment, I looked down at the ground. I looked down at the pavement, the dirty, greasy asphalt. And excuse me. And I looked down and I saw all the different individual rocks and the colors and the textures that made up the street. And I remember feeling much better. I remember feeling more grounded, just bringing myself back into the present moment and out of my worry of what was I going to do, how was I going to survive. And I got out of the car and I started walking across the parking lot, but I was looking down at my feet. And I stopped and I realized that this was how the universe was supporting me. This was one actual physical, attainable way that I was constantly being supported. I was able to put my feet on the ground, and the ground was lifting me back up. And I would take one step, and then another step. And I realized no matter what happens in life, no matter what your situation is, whether you have someone there that feels like support or whether you don't and you feel like you're all alone, you're actually never alone. And you are always supported. You have to be willing to look at the ways you're supported. Even though they're not exactly how we're taught we're supposed to be supported. If you think about your thoughts amplify. So whatever you focus on, whatever you believe and think, you're going to amplify that out to the universe, and it's going to bring you back evidence of what you believe and of what you're thinking. So I realized then that if I keep looking for the ways I am supported, even if it seems silly, even if it doesn't seem quite real, if I keep purposely looking for those ways that I am supported, then I will find more and more evidence of how I am, in fact, supported. And so I was, crying. I was really distraught. I was in a really, bad, sick, very down place. But I was looking at my feet as I was walking across the ground. And I'm like, no matter what, if I lose everything, if I'm not able to work, if I'm not able to do anything, and I'm going to just, waste away and possibly die not being able to take care of myself, at least I know I'm supported. Every time I step on the ground, the earth is not caving away under my feet. There is something there supporting my every step. And I started focusing in that way. And what ended up happening is the more I was willing to deliberately focus on how I was supported, I started seeing other forms of support. And then suddenly, someone would call me and ask if I needed anything. Or suddenly someone who, was gone came back into the picture and was like, here, I'm here to help you. Or suddenly I get a check in the mail and I could, pay another bill, or I could, get some help with my kids. And it was suddenly I was seeing all these ways in which I am in fact supported. They weren't what I thought support had to look like, but I was in fact being supported, and I in fact was not alone. Because even when there was no person or nobody there with me, I would come out here. I would come out here to the beautiful, beautiful desert. And I would come sit with these ancient swarrows and just, really just be present with them and really feel how they were here for me. Everything in our universe we are creating for us. It's all here for us, to help us, to love us, to show us that we're not alone. You just have to be willing to see it. So I just wanted to come on here and say that I know a lot of times it feels like there is a lack of support, and sometimes we just got to be willing to kind of drop our story of lack and realize that that's just an illusion. We are supported all the time. You've just got to be willing to look in places that you never really expected, you never really thought. A lot of what we feel in this life isn't true fact. A lot of it is illusion. A lot of it is just what we were taught. And just that shift in perception, that willingness to see things a little bit differently can open up a whole new world, and it can bring a lot of relief. So that's one way, a little story about how I created more support and was shown more support, and eventually, felt much, much better and much more fulfilled and supported in my journey, in my healing. So I hope you guys are all having a good day. I am getting pretty warm out here. So I'm going to go back and find some more shade. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.